Guys, I know it's almost a week late, but I also promised you an update, so here it is. Went to the doctor on Tuesday the 5th. I got my spit test and then dropped it off on Wednesday. I go in on the 5th. No, the appointment was on the 15th. My next appointment is the 5th. That's when I get the results from the spit test. And then they're going to do some lab work. They want to go in and check a bunch of stuff, but I'll get into that in a second. So yeah, I go in on the 5th to get the results from the spit test, as well as give some blood work. They want to do some labs and stuff. And then I go in on the 14th for those results and to get my script. So that's very exciting. We're down to 24 days, I think, before I get that script in my hand. Very exciting. So yeah, it was a good trip. I went and stayed, like I said, I went to see my trans brother's doctor. So I stayed with him Tuesday night and then left Wednesday morning. I had to get back in town for some stuff. So doctor's visit went well. She says there's definitely something physical going on as far as why I am the way I am. Obviously right now she doesn't know just by looking at me, so we gotta wait for some tests to come back. Like I said, as far as lab work goes, from what I can tell, she's checking me for everything. She's checking my thyroid, she's checking my pituitary gland, which I didn't notice until my brother said something about it. He's like, "You're the shortest one in your family, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, now that you mention it." So the doctor was really interested in that, so she's running tests on my pituitary, but she got to poking and prodding around in there, and she didn't really say a whole lot, while she was poking and prodding, but I think my jawline was mentioned. I don't know if you can see it in this lighting, but it's very defined on its own. I got a little bit of a Adam's apple, you can kind of see it right there. There's a dip in my chest right here, which I know a lot of guys who have that, don't know a whole lot of girls that do, so, and then there's, some other things here and there that I'm sure I'm forgetting. It's just various signs, physical signs that, there's a little bit more to this than it just, being something in my head or whatever. On the family front, I have come out as trans to 2 sisters, both of which were fine. Both of which are slowly but surely asking questions. The younger of the 2 texted me the other night. She's like, "So, how is Sydney gonna feel about, you being trans and whatnot?" She goes, "Because if you go through with this gender thing, doesn't that mean that you're straight? And how is she gonna feel about that if you're straight? She's into girls, and So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see her answering questions or asking questions rather. But it was a really good conversation with her. She's not happy. That was my sister on my mom's side. She's not happy that my mom is serious about keeping me from her and my younger sister. I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers, so we're kind of we're split, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, she's thinking, she's asking questions, she's handling it really, really well. She's asking good questions. I mean, that's the question she asked was one of my biggest fears when I came out to Sydney. It was, she had made the comment that if this is what I decided to do, then she would love me and support me no matter what. But it's different when you're actually going through it. When you're facing a situation, it's easy to say what you would do until you're actually going through it and you have to do it, or you have to face the situation instead of just hypothetically. So but Sydney's doing quite well with it too. So she's writing a book, and she said something about posting some videos on here as well for the significant others and families of trans people trans guys specifically, but trans people works too. Um, so that they can kind of get an idea of what to expect as far as changes and whatnot. But hopefully you'll meet her within the next month or so. But so yeah, family is slowly but surely coming around. Mom, not so much. I haven't told my dad yet. I haven't told Sydney's family yet. Except for an aunt. An aunt knows, but her parents don't know as of yet, just because I'm waiting for that medical reasoning before I feel comfortable enough to say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, and the next thing out of their mouth is gonna be, well, why? Oh, well, here you go. I want that. Here you go. So, until I get that on the 5th, yes, on the 5th, I'm kind of keeping that one underneath my hat for a minute. Good news. Let me give you a little bit of background on my trans brother. I met him 7.5 years ago, something like that. On some trans message boards. Do they even have message boards anymore? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's how far back we go. We just kind of, hit it off. We talked on the message boards for a little while, and then eventually swapped phone numbers, and have been pretty much in constant contact ever since. I mean, we'll go maybe a week or two, without any kind of contact or whatever. But now pretty much we talk daily. So he's been in my life, not physically, but he's been there. Like I said, I was in Texas, and then he's been here in Georgia. So we actually met in person back in May, the end of May, I believe. We went to a Renaissance Festival, me and Sydney, and then him and his wife. We all met up there, and we had a blast. It was a good time. And then, like I said, I went and saw his doctor, and hung out with him and his wife and his best friend. And we just kind of hung out and played cards, and made it a fun night. But while I was there, I met his mom and his dad, and these are people that I've heard him talk about for years. And it's weird, I walked into their house, and I walked into them, and it was amazing. I told my brother, I said, it's like I was the prodigal son who had finally returned home. It was like I belonged there. I had always been there. And it really felt like I was just coming home, So after I got back, I was at work. Actually, I think I was at work. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, he texted me, and he said, dude, I just want you to know that my dad came to me, and he said, we really like Shane, and we think he's a great guy, and let him know that we're sorry for the way his family is handling this, but let him know that we would love to consider him our younger trans son. And he said, just let him know that we're here if he'll have us. And talk about humbling. Holy crap, man. It was very moving, for sure. I told him, I said, I've never had anybody be that accepting of me since I came out as gay, much less trans, And he's like, dude, they're not kidding. He said, Mom's already planning on having you over for Christmas. He said, he said, I took her into town the other day. She had some shopping to do, and he said I was giving her a hard time about, having to take her around all the time, and she looked over at me and she goes, well, if Shane lived closer, he would do it. And so, it was pretty cool, but they're all excited. They can't wait to meet Sydney, and she can't wait to meet them, So yeah, things are looking up, and I hope y'all are all doing well. And if you have any questions or comments or whatever, shoot them at me. I'll do the best I can to answer any of them. and I will give y'all an update when I have something on or around the 5th. Later.